Hey guys, so I just did my makeup video for the day along with talking about ADHD. And I realized I haven't done a writing video in a while. So, as you guys know, I'm a student. One of the classes I'm taking at El Camino College is called Introduction to Fiction. It's English 25A if you're interested. As you don't know, I'm a fiction writer, so I thought this was really, really fun. And I've done a whole bunch of the journal entries, which is a packet you turn in at the end of the semester, at least the way this teacher has it. And so I decided I'm going to share some of my journal entries with you guys. Always let me know what you think in the comments below. These are all really short stories because that's what she wants in these journal entries up until now. So let's get to it. Let me know what you think of my writing. And of course, all of this is authentically mine. I own it. It is mine. And if I ever get published, road to being published, I will include some of these in my works. Okay. So this one is, they don't have titles besides journal entries, and that is how she has asked us to do it. All right, so this one is, I did this at the end-ish of February. Julia loves to climb trees and hang with the boys. Julia is a classic tomboy, but she has a secret crush on Lucas. Lucas loves to tease the girls, but no one knows that he likes Julia too. One day, while playing a game of hide and go seek, something would happen that would change everything. Julia, Lucas, and their group of friends were playing near the woods. Julia and Lucas were hiding while Tommy counted to 100. A few other friends were hiding too, but today Lucas felt like something was off. Around 65, he thought he heard Julia scream, then whoosh, thud. Lucas panics and screams, "Julia!" He immediately left his hiding space and ran towards her blood-curdling scream. His heart pumping and his legs shaking while he is frantically looking for her. When the boys heard Lucas running, they started running too. After all, he doesn't really run or yell for no reason. They're all running blindly. Lucas keeps screaming her name. He can barely breathe at this point, and he's panting while his big baby blue eyes are about to pop out of his head. "Julia!" he screams, pushing the last of his air out of his lungs. Hurriedly, he careens past a beautiful bush full of flowers. He screeches to a sudden halt when he hears muffled screams. He whips his head to see Julia, bound with duct tape, and some pervert on top of her. Julia lost her youth that day. Lucas lost his freedom. And her rapist lost his life. They may have been young, but the rage that was within Lucas during that moment came from the deepest, darkest pits of hell. He saved Julia from an imminent death. He could not prevent the rape that happened that warm summer afternoon. For this particular prompt was supposed to be a micro story of 10 sentences or less. I counted this to be about 25, so I got help from the writing center, and they took out a lot, but this is what is the final product of 10 sentences. Julia loves to climb trees and hang out with the boys. She's a classic tomboy, but she has a secret girly crush on Lucas. Lucas loves to tease girls, but no one knows what he's like, that he likes Julia too. One day while playing a game of hide and seek, something happened that would change everything. Julia, Lucas, and their group of friends were playing the game in the woods. Julia and Lucas were hiding, but Lucas felt like something was off. Suddenly, Lucas thought he heard Julia scream, and then a whoosh thud. Lucas panics and screams, "Julia!" and immediately leaves his hiding space and runs towards her blood-curdling scream. He whips his head to see Julia, bound with duct tape and some pervert on top of her. Julia lost her youth that day. Lucas lost his freedom, and her rapist lost his life. They may have been young, but the rage that was within Lucas during that moment came from the deepest, darkest pits of hell. He saved Julia from an imminent death, but he could not prevent the rape that happened on that warm summer afternoon. So mine has a lot more emotion, but I had to keep it simple for the assignment. All right. I'm not going to share that one. All right. So this one's a fun one for me. James is an odd fellow, chipper in demeanor and firm in dress. James is a white male in his mid-40s. He stands about 6'5" when he's not hunched over a computer or scowling at his students' work. James teaches philosophy at the local university. He did his dissertation on religious existentialism and has his PhD in philosophy with an emphasis on religious studies. He grew up in the rougher parts of the Upper East Side, so the lower middle class part of Manhattan. As a boy, he was covered in freckles and had bright red hair. He was bullied a lot, but never let it stop him from reaching his goals. He was small in stature, but quickly changed in high school. Sometime during his junior year, he had a growth spurt from hell. This scrawny, petite little boy suddenly became a hairy, brawny man with a burly, rumbling voice that could make frozen butter melt. Broad shoulders, facial hair that would light a woman's crotch on fire, thick, manly, everything. He was no longer being picked on. He stood a full head and shoulders above the tallest basketball player on the basketball team. He was started dressing sharp too. A vest was always on him. Sometimes that was the only thing hiding his strapping sculpted bust, and barely hiding it at that. His looks were swooning and slightly intimidating. His character was that of a light-hearted, warm, innocent little boy. He just wanted to make people happy. He was also super intellectual and could talk about religion and politics or anything philosophical all day. He looks like the robust Vikings with the physical strength of a single leaf. Looks can be deceiving, and for James, they certainly were. There's that one, and then this one was another fun one for me. So, here you go. Naked bodies, body odor, towels, steam, strewn all over the cold and oddly humid locker room. Men. All of them seem to have similar features in anatomy, which one would assume to be accurate. But the differences make so much difference, and the likenesses, well, most would claim plausible deniability. No one wants to say that they are the same as the next guy. Football practice just ended, and this team seems to be no different. The problem is, in this area, people tend to be very racist, sexist, and misogynistic. Sounds like a great time for Gary. Oh, Gary, why did you move to Oklahoma? And how did you end up on this team? It's literally the opposite of you and everything that you stand for. About 85% of this team are white males in their early 20s, varied in size and stature based on their position on the team. The star quarterback and running back could smash a small car just by looking at it, and they had girls crawling after their buff physique. The rest of the team varied in cultures and looks, but no one matched Gary. Everyone had muscles, girls, and little to no brains. The only person there on an academic scholarship was Gary. Everyone there was on an athletic scholarship, or they were simply picked to make it look like they are not racist. Gary, well, you should know that's not his original name. It was Geraldine. And showering for him is a bit awkward. He still has not had his bottom genitalia surgery, and the scars have not entirely faded from his bilateral mastectomy. While most of the boys were slapping each other with towels and talking about who they fucked the night before, Gary just wanted to be invisible. He was still scrawny and couldn't really hang with the boys yet. He never felt so emasculated as when he saw all of their natural Johnsons swinging to and fro, side to side. It was kind of hypnotizing. He was also questioning his sexuality. Am I bi? I have always loved women, but those look so tempting. Gary has never experienced intercourse with a man, so the unknown is intriguing to him. And he is still in transition, so it's natural for him to explore, according to a therapist. So many questions in this sticky, damp room. Gary is moist and doesn't know how to hide it. He quickly gets dressed and runs out of the room. That was enough awkwardness for one day. So for this assignment, we were supposed to pick a crowded space like a bar or locker room or a crowded space. Describe the space and the people in the space, but then kind of hone in on one person and describe them in detail. I think I did that. The other one with James was about opposites, how things can be perceived one way, but really be another, and kind of like overcoming obstacles. So these are some of my most recent writings. This is an excerpt from a story I'm ghostwriting for somebody. Yeah, this is a little piece of that. I don't remember what the prompt was, but it fits this piece that I've already written, and she said that we could use pieces that we've already written. Yeah, okay. So, Maya Leche Bebete, 15, going on 30, and a body to match. Not the sharpest tool in the shed, but she makes up for that in her personality and lack of clothing. It's not that she doesn't have clothes. She likes to keep the material on her person to a very minimum. Everything she did was legal or within guidelines, just skating on the borderline of trouble at all times. Skirting the line and tempting everyone with working eyeballs. And Maya loves the attention. Maya is barely dressed, but she never leaves the house without a smile. So, fully dressed by a different standard. She grew up with a single mom. No one really knows what mom does for a living, but it feeds and takes care of Maya and her 3 siblings. No one knows what happened to dad. No one dares to ask either. When you ask her mom, her eyes could shatter glass and pierce a bulletproof vest. Side-eye is putting it far too lightly. I think that's it. Yep, that's it. I've done 9 journal entries in total, and I just read you my 4 favorite ones. If there's something that you would like me to write about, read about, or if you know of a publisher, editor, publisher, anything to help me on my road to being published, or you just like what I'm writing, go ahead and drop it in the comments. I appreciate all feedback, good, bad, and ugly. I would like to just state again that these are all fictional characters of my own writing from my own head, and the prompts were based on my school or my work in progress that I'm working on. I have not copied this from anybody. If it sounds familiar, cool. Hopefully it's someone famous, and hopefully it's someone successful that can help me on my journey. But yeah, Road to Being Published. Please help me. I hope that you enjoyed my readings today. They are short and sweet, and we like to keep it that way sometimes. So 4 journal entries, 4 short stories. Let me know what you think in the comments below. And as always, thank you so much. If you like what you're seeing, go ahead and hit the subscribe, like, and share buttons. Also, don't be afraid to hit doing comments. And I will look forward to tomorrow's video. Who knows what it's about? And maybe I'll have some more writing for you. Okay, well, stay safe, stay beautiful, and it's okay not to be okay. Bye.